What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. It really is silly season, and we're going to prove to you why it's silly season with these transfer updates. We're going to start off talking about Liverpool's Cody Gakpo, who's just been linked to Spurs in the Dutch press, publication called Soccer News. No idea how reliable they are. I would suggest maybe not very. But they're saying that Gakpo is now keen to leave Liverpool following the exit of Arne Slot, with doubts over whether he'll be the preferred option for new boss Andoni Iraola on the left wing. Tottenham are seriously interested in prizing Netherlands international away from Anfield this summer, just 12 months after signing his new 250 grand a week bumper contract in Merseyside. Spurs and De Zerbi hoping to convince the attacker to move to London as they work on a plan that would see him leave Anfield for the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham see Gakpo as the perfect player for their big summer rebuild, although they could face competition from other Premier League clubs and teams from Spain and Germany. Can you see Gakpo falling by the wayside under Iraola?
I could actually. I could see them him being out of favour. There was a bit of a weird feeling with Gakpo last season. A lot of Liverpool fans think he had a really bad season, and I remember I was seeing constantly tweets saying that he's the reason we're not winning games, and they kept posting like the fixture list, and every time it was a loss it'll be with Gakpo, and every time it was a win it'll be without Gakpo, and that was like some sort of like theme that was going on last season in Liverpool. And I know that there seemed to be some sort of narrative that they should sell him. He's not a good player. I really like Cody Gakpo. I think he is a good player. I think he's definitely better than everything we have. Gets goal contributions, pretty decent rate, and I think bit of a selfish player. I think that's maybe one of his downfalls. I'm not saying he can't do assists. I'm just saying he's a bit of a cut and shoot merchant. Gets a lot of shots off. Needs to work on being a bit more effective with the ball, I think, Cody Gakpo. But he's got all the attributes to be a top player. We know that. And I think he's done pretty well at Liverpool. Not like exceptional, but he's done pretty well. I don't see them letting him go, though, this summer.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because there are actually reports midway through last season, around March time, that Liverpool might be looking to sell him in the summer window. Mm-hmm. If they are looking to sell him, I mean, I think Spurs could do a lot worse than Cody Gakpo. I would love to see him through the door.
I'll definitely take him.
Bring on the Dutch. It looks like we're going for a Dutch. We're trying to build the Dutch national team.
I mean,
here.
if you believe this report, but I'm not sure I believe it. I don't think he ain't coming to Spurs. I don't think Gakpo's going to want to drop out of the Champions League. I'm sure there'll be suitors for him if Liverpool actually are looking to sell. I just think Liverpool got so much surgery to do in that front line.
It's true.
I don't see them adding more problems to already. They need, I don't know how many attackers they need, but they need probably 2 right wingers, a left winger on top of Gakpo. I mean, Ekitike is already out for a year, so maybe a striker. So I don't know if they can add more problems to themselves.
Yeah, probably not. But, you know, there's even links now. I think David Ornstein's just tweeted about Bayern being interested in their young kid Rio as well. So, I mean, like...
I don't think he goes either.
Yeah, he won't go. They'll be mad to let him go, you know what I mean? But there could be a monstrous offer on the table. They're going to have to be if they're even going to consider it. But, yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they could upgrade on him. They might look to let him go. But, yeah, you're right. It's probably a bit too much business to do because it's mad to think about with the money that they spent last summer and still how much they have to do. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And moving on, we are going to talk about everyone's favourite Brazilian at this moment in time, and he goes by the name of Savinho. ESPN Brazil reporting that Savinho now is determined to join Tottenham. Last year he had doubts about making the move, but this year he is totally convinced about making the move. Man City value him at around £52 million. Spurs have started contacts and plan to send their first offer in the coming days. So, on the back of winning the Europa League and finishing 17th, he was, apprehensive about joining Tottenham. And now, staying up on the final day, he is certain he wants to join Tottenham.
It's that Xavi pull. Xavi's been in his ear. Look, it's a great club, great facilities. De Zerbi's a great manager. You got to come down. We're going to be cooking together when I get fit anyway. I think it's great to hear if it's true, that he actually wants to be here and he's excited about the prospect of coming to Tottenham, because a lot of players coming from bigger clubs like Man City, maybe he wouldn't be. So obviously it would be a step down for him, but also, and maybe if he reframes it in his mind, it's an opportunity to be playing week in, week out, really show off his qualities in the Premier League. I think he knows, he's confident he can play at this level, and it's all about just giving him the platform to show it. And I think maybe at Tottenham he feels we can give him that platform, we can really believe in him.
Yeah, I think actually it signifies his head being screwed on in the right way, because it does take, a big move to take a step backwards in your career and going from Man City, because after going from Girona to Man City, you're like, all right, fine, I made him the best team in England, but obviously hasn't worked out for him there over the past couple of years. So he's like, you know what, I'm good enough to make it at this level. Let me take a step backwards and to guarantee that game time. And a bit like what we've been speaking about with Vuskovic. He wants to play. Mm-hmm. He wants to play,
But also, for Savinho's point of view, last summer we heard he wanted maybe to leave to make sure he gets in that World Cup spot. And obviously he was made to stay in the end, or it ended up not happening. And then he did end up missing in that World Cup spot. So maybe he's starting to think now, my instinct was to leave, and I stayed and I did miss out. So maybe it was the right moment. I have to listen to my instincts. And my instincts are saying I should go and get some more game time somewhere else. So I think maybe that's also played a factor.
I really hope we can get this over the line. As much as I've been talking about my apprehensions of the deal, I am still excited to bring someone of the prospect of Savinho to the club, because he is a kind of like bums off seat player, and he'll definitely get people excited. I think he just needs to brush up on that end product, and I think we've got a real quality player here, however long it takes him to do that. But I think, working closely with De Zerbi and working on his development, I think he can get there.
Yeah, and there's lots of players at his age who aren't most players at his age aren't the finished article, and I think he's already shown that he does have final product. Maybe not consistently in the Premier League, but he's shown in his career in La Liga. La Liga's not a farmers' league. Like he showed in La Liga, he can get goal contributions regularly. I think he got 19 in that season. So
I think he got more than that.
He got a lot.
I think it might have been 19 goals, wasn't it?
I think it was like 10 goals, 9 assists, if I remember rightly. Maybe all competitions, it was a lot more than that.
Yeah, you're right. It was 19. Yeah, 9 goals and 10 assists.
9 goals, 10 assists. So he's shown he's capable of it. So I think it's all about maybe rhythm. It's about getting him those regular starts, getting him confidence. And I've got no doubt there's a supremely talented player there. And I think if we can get him through the door, I think it's a bit of a coup, in my opinion, from that point of view. 52 million is obviously quite hefty. Maybe we can get that price down a little bit. But I think there's a really good player in there, and I think we would be frustrated if we end up missing out on him.
Yeah.
I think it would be a mistake.
I think, we just spoke about Cody Gakpo and Savinho on the left wing for Spurs next season.
That'd be great. I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that.
But this is what I was talking about. Get Savinho and get someone more established in. And I think that definitely represents it. How credible the Gakpo links are, probably not so credible. But we can dream. We can only dream. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about Lamine Camara. And they're saying that Tottenham are planning to strengthen the midfield this summer and has been identified as the front runners for Monaco midfielder Lamine Camara. Spurs, Villa and Newcastle all ready to submit significant offers for the Senegalese international, who already boasts 41 caps at 22 years of age. The Monaco star is currently keen on only 2 of those options, and those options are Villa and Tottenham. The French club are ready to greenlight a move and cash in, but they were going to hold out for 50 million euros.
I think he's a good player, but I just think, again, when it comes to the profile, he's not really number 6, and he's not really attacking midfielder, so he's kind of that in between. And I don't think we need that kind of profile right now. For spending 50 million on him, I have to wait and see what we're doing with João Palhinha. Maybe if we don't get Palhinha, maybe I can see there being a bit of an opening. But he got, I think,
But
6.
Palhinha is a 6, though.
Huh?
Palhinha is a 6.
Palhinha is a 6, yeah, but no 6. But I still think he's clogging up the numbers if we sign him.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we don't sign Palhinha, surely we need to sign a 6.
Yeah, we need to sign a 6 regardless.
Yeah.
That's I would say, depending on how we see Bentancur. But the problem is we got Bentancur and Palhinha. It's a difficult situation. Maybe he sees Bentancur as more of an 8, but I do think Camara is a good player. I think physically brilliant, quite good technically as well. Got 6 goal contributions last year. Good for it in a good decent Monaco team. So I'm not surprised if we are interested in him, but I just don't think he's the right profile of what we need.
Yeah, maybe it's a case of swapping him out for Pape Matar Sarr because he's obviously favoured ahead of Pape for the national team for Senegal. I think he's one as well that could have a really strong World Cup, and his price could even go up after this World Cup because he does have a lot of talent, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And last but not least, you're going to laugh at this one, regarding Jonathan David. So Tutto Juve are claiming that Juventus have offered Jonathan David to Tottenham in exchange for both Guillermo Vicario and Destiny Udogie.
Both. Jeez. And there's money on top of that or something? What's going on here? No, not for me. I think Udogie's probably worth more than him. Well, to be fair, David was not so long ago worth quite a lot of money.
And last summer.
Well, he went for free, didn't he? But I'm saying he was worth a lot of money, wasn't he, at one point? And he was scoring lots of goals for Lille. So you're looking at that thinking, I mean, I think you could do a lot worse and maybe take a punt on him. But the reality is he's had been an absolute disaster at Juve. Been an absolute disaster. I think he's one of those where in January, when we were desperate, I think get him in on a 6-month loan and would have seen. I think right now, I mean, maybe a year loan, but it could be another Moani situation. You got someone here on loan who maybe doesn't want to be there, but maybe he could see Tottenham as an opportunity to rebuild his career. I think there is a good player in there. He's quick in behind, not a bad finisher. But the reality is, outside of Lille, when on the international stage, he's been a bit hit and miss. Serie A, awful.
He did very well in the Champions League.
Champions League, he did well. Did well for Lille in the Champions League.
The thing is, right, Juventus have been a bit of a shit show this year, and it feels like anyone that going into Juventus, they just don't like anyone right now. Like,
it's true.
They don't like Vlahovic, they don't like David, they don't like this one, they don't like that one. Openda. These are all good players, and I think if you get the right manager to get the right out of them, I think you can. And I think Jonathan David has proved he can score goals at a very good level when you take into account his Champions League record. When you talk about him on the international stage, I mean, he usually does well for Canada. But it is Canada, and he's playing for a pretty poor side at that. And, he's had a shocking season for Juventus this season, no doubt about it, but still managed 10 goal contributions.
We did hear from one ITK that there is genuine interest in him, so maybe there is something to it. I mean, I'm not totally against it, because I think a year ago I'd be very on it getting someone like David through the door. Obviously, he offers something very different to Solanke as well. He's a much more running behind poacher, much better finisher as well in front of goal than Solanke or Richarlison. It's just a big risk because he's just been horrific at Juventus, hasn't he? It's just not gone right for him or Openda. 2 strikers who came in with big reputations, and both of them just not done well.
Yeah, I think I would take a punt on him just because he offers that something different that we just don't have that profile in the squad. Him instead of Richarlison, does that represent an upgrade?
I think so. I think it should be, because I think physically you get that sheer pace and I think, as I said, I think Richarlison's declined physically. That's the main reason I think we should get rid of him, and I don't think he's up to it as much anymore. But I think Jonathan David's a very interesting one. If he could be available on a cheap deal, given how badly it's gone, maybe it could be a bit of a bargain.
You'd imagine, though, he's on big wages, though, because he's signed on a free. So that's the only sticking point there. But
I wouldn't swap him for Udogie.
I'd do a swap for Vicario. Yeah,
I'd do that.
You can have Vicario, but leave Destiny alone. Right? I want to keep Destiny because I think he's got a big future. But, the reality is with Destiny, if he can't cut out these injury problems, we might have to start thinking about alternative solutions.
It's true.
But yeah, those are the 3 that we have for you today. Let me know in the comment section below. Would you take Jonathan David in a swap deal for Vicario? Oh, they're pouting out Vicario and Destiny Udogie. I think that's absolute nonsense and absolute crazy talk. But look, if you don't try, you don't get, right?
Exactly.
Just as we're reporting, we've had an update from a good friend of the channel, Romeo Agresti. Big up to Romeo. He said Juventus have now made contact with Tottenham regarding Guillermo Vicario. Any swap deals in there?
Maybe that's what it's all about. They're making contact. They've seen the reporting. They've heard the rumours. They're like, maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's see, put the feelers out. But yeah, we have heard that Juventus are entering the frame. We've also heard that some reports saying they've got doubts. Some reports are saying actually they are serious about him. I think we know that Vicario is desperate for a return to Italy. We're happy to sell. So let's hope there's a deal to be done there. I'm sure they're going to try and get him as cheaply as possible, but I think if we just get 20 million, I think that's a fair deal.
Yeah. Do you think we get that from Juventus? Probably.
I mean, we're not asking an arm and a leg, are we?
Yeah, I mean, you never know for these Italian clubs what they can afford these days. But yeah, I think it represents good value, 20 million. In the Italian national team setup, good goalkeeper, and I think he'll probably thrive a bit more in the Italian setup as well.
Yeah.
So that's Vicario, that's Jonathan David, and potentially Destiny Udogie as well. We'll see how those ones progress. Yeah, let us know on those potential transfers in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for joining us. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.